playing for the Lamar Hunt Trophy. The Jets and the Steelers, and let's go down to the field to Steve Tasker.
Coach, 5 weeks ago, the Jets came into Heinz Field and walked out with a win. What has to be different today for you guys to turn the tables?
It's not about what, it's more about the quality of our work. We got to execute at a higher level than we did 5 weeks ago, and we can't let emotions take over.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Jim.
All right, thank you, Steve. What do you believe these teams learned from that experience 5 weeks ago?
Well, I think this is what's happened, Jim, as we talk to the players and coaches. I think on both teams, they feel more confident because they understand what they're up against, where before there were a lot of unanswered questions.
So the Jets defer, and Antonio Brown, who had that sensational catch a week ago, is set to return. He had an 89-yard run back for a touchdown. The first time he ever touched the football in the NFL. It was week 2 on a reverse on the kick against Tennessee. Nick Folk sends it down his way, and we're going to find out Green Bay's opponent in the Super Bowl. Brown got a nice little gap and a good run back out to about the 34, where he's brought down by Lance Lowry. 23-yard run back. For the 4th time in his 7 seasons, Roethlisberger's in the AFC title game. He lost as a rookie, then won his 2nd season on his way to winning the Super Bowl, and then 2 years back defeated the Ravens. 2 crowns for Ben. His offensive line has the rookie Pouncey, a Pro Bowler, yet another outstanding center, a distinguished list through the years at Pittsburgh. And Mike Wallace, the last time, should they play Green Bay, the last time the Steelers faced the Packers was last year. Wallace won it on the game's final play in a shootout over Green Bay, 37-36. They open up with 3 tight ends. They pitch it to Mendenhall, and there's not much there. Just a yard. The Jets defense, including Revis, coming up to make the stop, and Bart Scott as well. That Jets defensive front, great play out of Buha and DeVito, and how about Ellis last week? All over Brady, a couple of sacks in that game. And the linebacking group, Scott, he's in on the first tackle, knows the Steeler bunch well from all of his years in Baltimore. And the secondary, Phil, the matchup you're looking for, most of all, Cromartie on Wallace. 2nd down and 9. They're going to fake the handoff to Mendenhall and hit Hines Ward. And brought down by David Harris, short of the first, picks up about 7.
Well, with all this experience, Ben Roethlisberger, you're a coach, you even want to get him off to a good start. Give him a play that's easy to execute. So they put him on, put him in motion. Hines Ward comes underneath. That's what Hines Ward, that's what he is. He's the guy that can get all the little tough catches inside and get those extra yards. Good job by David Harris bringing down Hines Ward.
The tackle sets up a 3rd and 2. 6 defensive backs in for the Jets. And 5 wide for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, 5 wide receivers, no tight end.
And a whistle first. Ed Hockley's the referee.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Well, you say, how can you have a delay of game, 3rd play? Well, here's why. Because you're playing the New York Jets, you're Ben Roethlisberger, you got 5 wide receivers, and Jim, you want to know where everybody's at because you're nervous about what? Here comes a blitz, maybe. I want to be ready for it.
Mike Tomlin hired as the coach 4 years ago yesterday, and already the youngest to ever lead a team to a Super Bowl win. To be the first to ever take 2 teams to the Super Bowl under the age of 40. Noel Moore comes in on 3rd and 7, and that ball's dropped. There is a flag. Sanders was the target. Cromartie on the coverage.
Before the pass was thrown, illegal hands to the face, defense number 31. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
So the infraction on Cromartie gives the Steelers the first down.
On the outside, this time they have Antonio Cromartie grabs the face mask of Sanders coming underneath and grabs the jersey too. What you want to watch today is the officials are a big part of this game. Are they going to let them hold and grab on the outside of these receivers, or are they going to let them play? Last time they played, they let everything go.
Cromartie back on Wallace at the top of your screen on 1st and 10. Roethlisberger looks right, then throws middle. Tough throw, and it's incomplete. Bounced in there to Matt Spaeth. Spaeth was his target at the end of the game on a couple of occasions when the Jets beat him here December 19th.
Well, I think it caught Roethlisberger by surprise. You know, the Jets have changed up a little here in the last few weeks, and a little since he has seen them. They play more zone coverage, so you have to go back, read the defense, and go from one receiver to the next. When they play all that man-to-man coverage and blitz, you figure that you throw to one guy. So it took him longer. That's why he had pressure.
And Sean Ellis breaking the pocket early as he did last week in Foxborough. 2nd down and 10. And it's Mendenhall. He cuts back middle and takes it out to about the 47. Picks up 4. All right, Phil, how do you see it? Your philosophy?
Well, I know the Steelers, they believe they will see blitz pressure. Here's Ben. The blitzer's to his left. He's looking at them, and all of a sudden from his right side comes Antonio Cromartie. But he goes with the old pump fake. You can't go for those. Ducks under and gets the completion. But the Jets do a tremendous job of disguising their defenses. You think they're blitzing to your right? Nope. It comes from the other side. It causes sacks and fumbles.
Isaac Redmond flanking the quarterback. It's a 3rd and 6. The 2 rookie receivers, Brown and Sanders, are in the game too. As Roethlisberger has an open man, and Cromartie shoves him back. The forward progress is good enough for the first. Wallace with the grab. Cromartie's unhappy with the spot.
He should be. If they give him the first down, it'll be interesting to see what we can pick up, Jim. Maybe you challenge this. Well, on a replay, looking at the yellow line, it looks very close.
Well, that was Wallace with the catch, Cromartie on the coverage. And why was that such an important matchup going in? You've been talking that all week.
Well, I have. It's just because the way the Jets played the Steelers the last time, Antonio Cromartie just took Mike Wallace and covered him the whole game, basically one-on-one. And there was a lot of fighting, a lot of hand jostling, and I thought Antonio Cromartie got away with quite a bit of it.
You got the first down in Jet territory at the 48.
Yeah, you know, I was watching the marker closest to us. That's the unofficial marker. It's to the top of the screen, and that is an excellent mark. Catches it, possession. It's past the mark that we see on the field. But today, Jim, to finish the remark, Mike Wallace is going to have, I think, more opportunities to go down the field and do different things against Antonio Cromartie, and also formations. Can they help him out, get him free down the field before he gets hit?
He's lined up to the left. First down, Steelers. Roethlisberger now laterals to Mendenhall, who picks up a big chunk before DeVito ends it. A gain of 8. And he's hurt. Roethlisberger hobbling.
He might have got hit on the thigh and got one of those Charlie horses. It's one of the reasons why the NFL is going to make all the players in the league next year wear thigh pads. On the option, makes the pitch. Calvin Pace's knee hits him right in the left thigh.
There is a late flag now.
There was no foul for an ineligible downfield because it was a backward pass. No foul, 2nd down.
Ball at the 39. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Watch the left knee of Calvin Pace. Ooh, right in the left thigh.
Roethlisberger battling laryngitis up through Friday. With Steve Tasker down on the sideline reporting that Ben appeared to be okay in the warm-ups. And 2nd and 2, they'll go up middle, then cutting outside. Mendenhall showing that quickness and power, and gets near the first. The mark looks like it's about a foot short. That was Revis coming up along with Trevor Price.
Well, you're right, Jim. When Ben Roethlisberger came into our meeting Friday, I thought he was kidding us. He goes, I can't talk. And I thought he was kidding. I said, oh, that's pretty funny. And he goes, no, he's serious. And it made sense. Because when we watched practice, they went with all silent snap counts. And Byron Leftwich, the backup quarterback, went in the huddle and called the plays for him.
Well, the mark actually gives the Steelers the first down. So they've got Another new set from the 38. And they go back to the three tight end formation. And again, Mendenhall showing that elusiveness and able to make something out of nothing. Eric Smith finally, with Revis's assists, holds it to a 9-yard gain, breaking out of what looked like a tackle for a loss.
Well, when you talk about Rashard Mendenhall, you're right. The Jets get penetration. Sione Buha, David Harris, all of them coming across. They overrun it. The Steelers stay with their blocks. But Mendenhall truly is a running back that's all in one. He has the speed to go outside. You can see he can dance with the feet, make you miss. And you can tell by looking at him, he definitely has the power to break tackles if he has to.
He scratches out 8 yards. What could have been a negative play, now inside the 30. They work him again. No, it's Redmond this time. And Redmond bulldozing for a first down. Isaac Redmond picks up 5.
Well, the Steelers this time, they just line up, Jim, and they just run right at the Jets defense. Heath Miller, number 83, gets a good block down. David Johnson, a tight end playing fullback. He leads it up in there, and Redmond.
Jets bring in a rookie just brought up from the practice squad, number 96, Taveseo, Martin Taveseo. Roethlisberger looking long, open man, Miller dives and has it at the 3-yard line. Heath Miller with the catch.
Well, what they do, they cross the receivers. Mike Wallace goes down the middle, clears it out, and here comes Heath Miller, who did not play in the last game, comes across. He's wide open. Looks like he gets possession and makes the catch.
But the Jets still may want to challenge this
Here
one.
it comes.
21 yards is too big a play to let it go without a challenge. Look how long they've had the football, almost 7 minutes.
The Jets are challenging the ruling on the field that the pass was complete.
Heath Miller, who was inactive in that matchup 5 weeks ago against the Jets, was not back from a concussion. They'll review it. Was it in catch here in Pittsburgh?
Heath Miller coming across the field, absolutely gets possession of the football as he goes down. He's got it there. Does he lose it when he hits the ground? The football does hit, but arm is under it, very close. I think this is just going to be one of those. It's a judgment call. What will Ed Hockley see? Jim, we disagree. I say they'll say it's still a catch. You think it'll be incomplete?
It is about as close as you can come up with. It is really.
It's the Bert Emanuel catch, not quite, but close to it, that we saw in a championship game
Years ago, Tampa and St. Louis.
And it's one of the reasons why they changed the rule that the football could hit the field as long as you didn't lose possession of it. I don't see him writing anything down, so that.
It'll either be 1st and goal at the 2 or 2nd and 10.
The ball was moving. The receiver lost possession. The ball moved. The ball hit the ground. Therefore, the pass was incomplete. There will be 2nd down and 10 at the 23-yard line. And please reset the clock to 8:44. No timeouts are charged.
Here's what I think Ed saw. You're saying possession here, but there's the wiggle after it hits the ground right there. That's saying
That's where he said he
yep,
lost possession.
Yep.
Okay.
By the way, Roethlisberger is still in pain.
Yeah, that no question. That knee to the thigh, we saw it, Jim.
Again,
Calvin Pace. Oh, right on the thigh, almost near the hip. I had a few of those as a player. I wasn't near the runner, of course, that Ben Roethlisberger is. But not only is it hurt during the game, it hurts for about 4 or 5 weeks after it.
well, they back it up now to the 23s for a 2nd and 10. Mendenhall, the running back. They go back to Richard, waiting. His pass ball stop. More Jets waiting for him, including Brodney Poole. And a loss of 2. And down there on the sideline, what do you see in Steve Tasker with Roethlisberger?
Well, right at the beginning of that challenge, Ben Roethlisberger came over to talk to Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator, and he really struggled to walk. It's starting to tighten up. You can tell in this cold weather that bruise on his thigh caused him to come over and had to take 2 knees and stretched his thighs out the entire time they were in the challenge booth.
All right, thank you, Steve. 15 degrees, wind chill of 5. Meanwhile, it's a 3rd and 12 from the 25, and they go with this 5-receiver formation. Roethlisberger steps up away from the pressure. He's going to tuck it under. Bad leg and all. He runs near the 1st. And it looks like he's got enough for it down at the 13.
Well, the fact that he went head first, it's where he finishes. It's not where he hits the ground. So as you watch him run, 5 wide receivers, Jets going all coverage, keeping the extra defenders in the middle. Calvin Pace is there. He slips. That allows Ben Roethlisberger to get those couple extra yards. And that's where the ball should stop. He's not down until he is touched. A quarterback has to go feet first to say that I'm giving myself up. Don't hit me.
Picks up 12 on 3rd and 12. And on 1st down, it's back to the ground with Mendenhall inside the 10 and to the 8. Picks up 5.
Well, you know, we talked about Mike Tomlin, the time of this drive. The Jets even complained that they controlled the ball on us. They thought they were going to stop that today. But Mike Tomlin, what did he say when Ben Roethlisberger couldn't talk on Friday?
He wasn't too worried about it.
Our team needs hurdles. We love hurdles. We like to make it. And he really meant it. Well, he's got one here again today. It was quarterback's leg. Stayed well enough to let him perform the whole day.
Sanchez and that offense has been staying on that sideline for a long time. We're 17 minutes of real time. 8.5 minutes on the clock on this opening drive with a 2nd and 5. And Roethlisberger pumps once, pumps twice. Now throws, has a man down at the 1 with Hines Ward.
Looks like the center's down. Pouncey, the center, but Ben Roethlisberger did this last week. When he pumps, it makes the defense stop. Then he finds Hines Ward, just like last week, too, near the goal line.
Pouncey, the fine rookie center, is injured in an injury timeout. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms back at Heinz Field, and Pouncey can't put any weight on that left leg. Their 1st-round pick out of Florida, who earned Pro Bowl honors in his rookie year and gets rolled under by Brian Thomas.
That's a shame. Such a good player, along with Keamatu, the left guard, Pouncey, those two, I think, by far best linemen for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You saw Doug Legursky comes in now to take over the center duties. 1st and goal from inside the 1. Mendenhall scored twice last week, and I think he broke the plane. He's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
What a drive by the Steelers. Rashard Mendenhall, again, just like last week against the Baltimore Ravens. Contact, he's hit, but he has such a good base. Stays on balance, is able to fight forward and get that extra yard.
Had Bart Scott holding on to him.
Yeah, very good hit by Bart Scott, but not enough other. The Jets, not enough guys came around to make the 2nd hit to keep him from getting in the end zone.
Squeeze him in for the extra point.
And what a drive for Roethlisberger. His movement, the option play, the pitch.
7-0 Steelers. 9 minutes and 6 seconds. They keep it to open the game, and Mendenhall takes it the final yard. CBSSports.com experts hard at work breaking down this year's NFL draft. See which players your team might pick, plus get the latest mock drafts and more, all at CBSSports.com/NFL draft. Not looking good for Pouncey. And the Steelers 15 plays to cover the 66 yards. The 15 plays. It's the longest touchdown drive in the championship game since '98. Minnesota and Atlanta. Cotchery has the return here. And he's backed up at the 27. Hit by Mundy and others. Only a 12-yard run back with that cold shoulder and all. Sanchez and the Jets finally ready for a little business on the offensive side. Well, they've waited a long time to take a first snap, and it comes from the 27 with Tomlinson getting the start at running back. Sanchez batted down on his first throw.
Pittsburgh's defensive linemen, they know quick passes, you can't get there, raise your hands. And the last time they played, this Steeler defense was so upset because they said on first down we let them run it and we let them throw all those short passes to keep that offense in 3rd and 5 and less. Good job reacting to the quarterback.
Jets offense waited from kickoff to first snap 27 minutes. We talked with Sanchez last night about keeping his shoulder loose. They go run, and look at Harrison wrap up and toss back Tomlinson for no gain.
James Harrison, James Ferrier, talking to them. They are so upset about what they did in their run defense last time. And the Jets, they know it. The Jets said we caught him by surprise with a few runs, one an outside stretch, a few little gadgets on 3rd down. They know the running is going to be very, very tough today against the Steelers.
The Jets ran for more yards against the Steelers than any other team this season, 106 yards. 3rd down and 10. Nice throw. Sanchez guns it for the first to Cotchery out near the 40. Picks up 14.
Wonderful job of protection. Mark Sanchez sees the double coverage to his left. Look to his right. Nice pocket. Beautiful throwing lane. And Cotchery hooks up right between 2 defenders and Mark Sanchez. That'll give you some confidence. 3rd down, throwing it down the field. Power, accuracy.
Talked about that sore shoulder. It was injured in that game here on a hit by James Ferrier, December 19.
Says it feels great.
One first down from the 41. Going for the long ball, and the flag is thrown. Raylan Edwards got tangled up with Ike Taylor and Ryan Clark. It's going to be a call against the Steelers secondary.
Illegal contact, pass interference, holding.
Before the pass was thrown, illegal contact, defense number 25. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
Well, you can tell it's cold down on the field. Just listen to Steve Tasker and Ed Hockley. But I really believe today when you watch this game, the Steelers, the last time they played, they crowded the line of scrimmage and they were daring the Jets and Mark Sanchez to throw it. They didn't take the bait. They stayed with their plan, but there's no doubt, or at least in my mind, I think today the Jets will throw the football down the field a lot more than they have in these first 2 playoff games.
Sean Green, the running back. They go with him. Off right guard, he's stacked up and squirms for a couple. The last time they were here, Sanchez was under fire coming off a poor loss against Miami. He was being threatened to be benched, but boy, did he respond that day. And of course, he's got those 4 playoff wins in his first 2 years, all on the road. That line coached by Bill Callahan, a man who coached the Raiders to a Super Bowl back in the 2002 season. And Holmes again returns back to Pittsburgh, where he played his first 4 years, was a first-round pick and a Super Bowl MVP before jettisoned for a 5th-round pick last March. 2nd down and 8. And again, bodies tangled, and another flag. It's Holmes and Taylor. They're really close pals, but it's going to be a flag, and it looks like on Taylor.
Well, Jim, we said the last time they played.
Pass interference, defense number 25. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Last time they played, both defenses got away with a lot of hand fighting and really pass interference. Contact too far down the field and holding. That's 24, Ike Taylor, of course, on the hold. But the Jets, if they have success making the Steelers think that they're going to throw it outside and down the field, it might open up some running lanes.
First down from the 43, and that's Tomlinson for one, maybe two. That Steeler defense, number one in so many different ways. Dick LeBeau's defense. Kiesel's going to the Pro Bowl. What a year he's had. And Woodley in the postseason, as he had some sacks, 9 in 5 games. Ferrier was originally in the league as a Jet first rounder. And Polamalu, been well documented all week. He missed that first game against the Jets in December with an Achilles and ankle injury. There's Dick LeBeau, went into the Hall of Fame back in August. Remarkable numbers again by his defense. That makes the play here. William Gay this time is the one who knocks it down, but has another flag on the field.
Before the ball was snapped, ball start, Austin, number 17. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's second down.
So forget the play and a flag against the Jets.
Well, I got to say, I'm not surprised by these blitzes by the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've already kind of said the way they played the last time, they were really upset about it. Just giving the Jets some first downs in big moments. And just by watching them practice too, Jim, you were there, all the movement, all the different looks. I just turned to you and said, man, I'm glad I'm not a quarterback anymore. How do you figure it out?
2nd and 13. He had time, now fires it and knocked down by Lawrence Timmons. Ben Hartsock was the target.
Well, the initial pass protection for Mark Sanchez is very good. Plenty of time to look down the field, but as he looks outside, he looks at the curl. You're the quarterback. See how well covered they are to the outside? And then off balance, Sanchez can make all the throws too. When he's moving, no matter what kind of pressure he is under.
He's got another 3rd and long, 3rd and 13.
Nobody with their hand down. One now.
Gets it over the country quickly, and the Steelers have that well defended with Taylor and Ferrier. And that'll bring out Weatherford to punt. Only a 4-yard pickup.
Still a very good, I think, offensive series for the Jets, Jim. They gave their quarterback confidence. The offensive line knows they can block him to give him time. And they changed field position.
Randall L. stands at the 10. Weatherford had a big game here 5 weeks ago. He's been sketchy so far in the playoffs. And Randall L. fields it as he goes out of bounds. He's spotted at the 13. 31-yard punt. 7-0 Steelers, first quarter. Next Sunday, the NFL Pro Bowl live from Aloha Stadium. The first Pro Bowl ever played was 40 years ago tomorrow at the LA Coliseum. Mel Renfro, the Cowboys, returned 2 punts for touchdowns, was the game's MVP. Jim Nantz back here in Pittsburgh with 2 men who also were MVPs in the Pro Bowl. Phil Simms and Steve Tasker both. As the Steelers will be taking over at the 13-yard line after a 15-play drive the first time they had it, Phil.
Yeah, it's a great drive. I'm going to go back to the Pro Bowl. I didn't get a car. I wonder if Steve got a car.
What did you get?
A handshake. Good job.
Makes the quick pass, goes back to Mendenhall's got a huge lane. And he's able to keep his balance for a first down carry of 11 yards.
I call this play the Tony Romo drive. That's what it is. Where you look up, you fake the quick pass outside. Every team's doing it now. And then you run the draw. What it does, it stops the defensive line. They pause. Now the offensive linemen can be more aggressive. They get up into them. They can't get off the blocks. And boy, Rashard Mendenhall off to a good start.
Quickly out of the jam back at the 13. Out to the 24. Mendenhall getting a lot of work here in this first quarter. Already his 10th carry. That one's good for 2.
Well, you know, we'll talk about Rashard Mendenhall a lot today, Jim. And I remember 2 years ago, we were all excited to watch him play in Cincinnati. Talked to him in a meeting. Oh, he sings, he dances, it's all great. Mike Tomlin comes in. What does he say to us?
He's not going to be active tomorrow.
he made 2 mistakes in practice, and the young boy is going to have to learn to get it all right in practice before we let him come out here. So they've toughened him up, and it shows when you watch him play his running, blitz pickup, and just the mentality he plays with.
10 carries, 41 yards. Jets may have jumped. 2nd and 8. They've got Mendenhall on a screen, and Mendenhall breaks a tackle and finally collides with Eric Smith. He broke away from Rodney Poole and galloped for 17.
You see the flag thrown, don't stop. The Steelers did not stop. The Jets hesitated. I think Ben Roethlisberger wanted to throw it deep.
Offside, defense number 99. A penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Using your snap count, very important. Jason Taylor, left in, drops right into the defense. And boy, again, Rashard Mendenhall in the open field.
And that's going to end the first quarter. Pittsburgh 7, New York Jets nothing. And you're watching the NFL on CBS. We're back at Heinz Field. It's the 9th consecutive Jet playoff game in which they failed to score a touchdown in the first quarter. And they're behind for the 10th straight time in a playoff game. We start the second quarter. Jim Mansfield, Steve Haskell with the Steelers at the 44-yard line and first down. Roethlisberger on the run, throws it, and Miller almost with a one-handed grab. We've got an injury report. Steve, what is it?
Well, Marquise Pouncey came off the field in a lot of pain. It seems to be an ankle injury. His return is questionable, and the word spread around that Steelers sideline. You could tell every single Steeler on the sideline went over and touched him to let him know they were thinking about him. But Marquise Pouncey is questionable.
So valuable to the team. A rookie that's played so well. Antonio Cromartie limping around, but he'll walk it off. But the center, Pouncey, able to get up, block linebackers. I don't know if Legursky is athletic enough to get that done.
And let's see Legursky here on the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Perfect snap to Roethlisberger, and across the middle almost picked Harris, who had that huge interception a week ago. The flag's out. Eric Smith hitting Emmanuel Sanders. Sanders jumps to his feet.
Well, last week, the Jets, this Jet defense, so much success.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness defense, number 33. Unnecessary roughness against the defenseless receiver. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Well, that's Eric Smith. There's the throw. David Harris.
Oh,
and it's the hit. High to a defenseless receiver around the shoulder pads, the helmet. They're going to call that. Before he's able to get a couple steps, can't defend himself, they're going to throw that. But this Jets defense, last week, they were physical at the line of scrimmage. Their linebackers hit the receivers coming across the middle. It's not the same against the Steelers because they go down the field more than across it.
it's a first down at the 41. And Mendenhall takes it into the middle of the line, twisting and fighting for every yard. It's been the same thing almost every carry, 7 yards this time.
Well, when you watch this run, the blocking up front, oh, nice job by Foster. Right guard gets a good block. David Johnson, again, coming out of the backfield as a fullback is an excellent. Legursky tries to get in there. But Rashard Mendenhall, it's his tough running, breaking the tackles, getting those 2 and 3 extra yards makes a big difference.
Already has more yardage than he ran for last week against the Ravens. He was 20 for 46. A couple of touchdowns against the Ravens. He's got one already here. And he's got another carry. And again, able to fight for a couple. It'll set up 3rd and 1. Mendenhall, the third-year man out of Illinois, who was their first rounder back in 08.
Yeah, good out of the backfield. You have to watch him. And then down on the goal line, he's proven all year long. They're always looking for role players on the Steelers, but Rashard Mendenhall running so well. It used to be they took him out sometimes near the goal line. Not anymore.
Now they bring in Isaac Redmond into the backfield. Lineup David Johnson, backup tight end as the fullback on 3rd and a yard. It's Redmond, and the Jets defend it. The Jets stack them up, including Mike DeVito.
Well, again, they know the situation. 3rd and short. Go to the left side. Kemoatu, your best run blocker, is the left guard.
4th and a yard, and Ben's going to bring him to the line quickly.
Play the quarterback sneak.
Well, the officials called for a measurement as the Steelers were trying to hurry to the line.
Last week, the Patriots tried to run in obvious running situations up the middle. It's tough to do against this Jets defense. You talk about Mike DeVito, Sean Ellis, Sione Bauha. We don't say their name enough. They take care of the offensive linemen. They let the linebackers make the tackles and be the stars. Wow.
Not even necessary for a measurement. It was clearly evident it was a yard short.
Lost yardage.
Look at Roethlisberger's reaction when the officials called for the chain gang.
Well, I don't know. Usually, Jim, when you hurry up like that, you're going to try to get a quarterback sneak on a quick count. The Steelers do it. That was too much yardage to try to get on a quick count quarterback sneak.
Keep the offensive unit out there, Phil, instead of a 50-yard field goal.
Absolutely. Steve Tasker told us, we watched it before the game. Both kickers struggled with the cold weather. And when you get inside about the 40-yard line, you think about it. 4-down territory.
They have both Redmond and Mendenhall in the backfield.
Everybody up for the Jets on the defense.
4th and a full yard. Gonna throw for it, and it's intercepted. It bounced off the fingertips of the Steelers. And coming up with the pick is Brian Thomas. It was off of the hands of Mendenhall. Jets take over. Well, the Jets last week broke the long all-time record interception streak of Tom Brady's, and that right there was Ben Roethlisberger's first interception thrown in his last 198 passes. On 1st and 10, end around with Cotchery. James Harrison sticking with him, and Ike Taylor helps out for a big loss. Sets him back about 4.
Great play by James Taylor. Let's go back and look at the 4th and 1. Look at the Jets defense. Everybody up, playing the situation. It's going to be a screen to number 34. Even if it's complete, look how fast they close. Excellent job by the Jets defense. Rex Ryan, knowing the situation, puts them all up there, outnumbers you, makes it hard to execute the play.
Robert Turner comes in for reinforcement on the Jets offensive line. Green is the running back. And the Steelers say there was a flinch by Ferguson.
False start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
All the way back to 2nd and 19 now.
Well, you know, it's just a little tiny movement, bottom of your screen. They both just kind of flinched backwards. He showed it in slow motion, but when you're an official or you're a defensive player, pretty easy to pick it up.
Second false start of the game for the Jets. Again, 2nd and 19. Sanchez from the pocket gets a little bit of it back with Dustin Keller, the Jets' leading receiver on the season. With NFL Audio Pass, you can listen to the playoffs, the Pro Bowl, and Super Bowl 45 live online. For special playoff offers, go to NFL.com/audio pass or search NFL Audio Pass.
Well, a couple situations already in this game. The Steelers could not get the Jets in these 3rd and longs, and that's why, of course, both defenses live for, so they can all stand around and confuse you and try to get a big play with a blitz.
3rd and 13. pick up the blitz, and it's dropped. Contrary was cutting across the middle.
You said it right. The blitz was picked up once again. Excellent protection, but the coverage down the field. I think the Steelers are saying again in this game, just like they did last time. Contrary open, not going to get the first down, most likely, though, after he makes the catch.
He had separation on McFadden, who's not 100%, playing with a hip injury. Weatherford back out for his second punt. Off the side of the foot. He said he's been shaky these first couple of playoff games after a really solid regular season. He's lost his confidence. That's 29 yards. Steelers will take over 7. MetLife Blimp providing a look at the beautiful downtown area of Pittsburgh. Named for the 3rd time in 7 years America's most livable city by The Economist, including last year. Heinz Field and PNC Park right here in the downtown area. And what a scene it's been here so far tonight. For this AFC Championship game with the Steelers up 7-0. On first down, going for the big ball. And incomplete, looking for Wallace, and it hung in the air for a while, which gave Revis the time to make the play on it.
Well, Mike Wallace always says there's no way you can overthrow me, but Darrelle Revis this time, maybe he's on Mike Wallace because we saw Antonio Cromartie limping. And we know about Mike Wallace, one of the fastest receivers in the NFL. Darrelle Revis just tracking the football the whole time. Drops a pretty easy interception for him.
Revis, a Pittsburgh kid, area kid from Aliquippa. Mike Ditka's high school as well, and Ty Law. Second down and 10. And Mendenhall just shakes off an attempted tackle. It's Revis who has the angle and shoves him out. But Mendenhall has been the story in this first half.
He sure has. It's a run that's just meant to just go off tackle. But the Steelers get in a bunch to the outside. It confuses the Jets a little bit. It makes them passive because they're worried about the run, and then allows Rashard Mendenhall to get outside. The formations by the Steelers, when they bunch the receivers together, it's always a big worry in the passing game. But unlike, look at the 3 receivers, look at the blocking. Davis Harris can't get off fast enough. Mendenhall fast enough to get outside.
And gets 35 yards, already up to an 85-yard total. And a timeout called by the Steelers. Driving again thanks to Mendenhall. At the Jet 27 and a timeout. Now the weather here, it's 13 degrees now. It's dropped to a wind chill of 4. But not a bother at all to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mendenhall sits out this snap. First down at the Jets 27. It's Redmond. And he's running hard also. That was Drew Coleman who held on.
You know, it's a nice cutback, but if you watch it, the play is supposed to go to the right. But watch the left tackle. There's Jonathan Scott, the top of your screen, and then Chris Keomatu. They block so well on the backside that nothing here. Look at him pushing him to the top of the screen to the right. And now, okay, everybody engaged. He cuts it back. Nobody there to stop the run.
Pittsburgh has 111 yards rushing. Still got more than 9 minutes to go in the first half. 2nd and 2. It's Redmond again. Got the first down. Spinning free. Driving the legs and churning down to the 6. Broke away from Sione Pua for 13.
Jets defense, 2nd and 2. They are playing run. Look at this. You don't see that too often in the NFL in that situation, but they still get blocked. And if one thing Rex Ryan learned from his father, Buddy Ryan, it's they want to stop the run first and foremost. Again, look at Chris Keomatu. Mike DeVito can't get away. And then runners will block them. You break a tackle. That gives you a big play. Mendenhall back in. 1st and goal. 56 yards on this drive so far. All on the ground. They stay on the ground. Mendenhall. And he's walloped after a run of 1. When we met with Bruce Arians, as we always do before the Steeler games, he's their offensive coordinator.
He said about running on the New York Jets, if you can run it on Rex, you can run it on anyone.
Well, he understands. He's gone against him so many times. Of course, Rex Ryan, defensive coordinator down in Baltimore, but he just knows what type of team that Rex likes to have, period. And his defense, he expects them to blitz, and he knows they're going to be good against the run, like you said, Jim.
Second and goal. Mendenhall weaves to the 1. Mendenhall. And that's Miller pushing back Brian Thomas deep into the end zone.
Now, this team is so different when it comes to the running game. They've been doing it ever since Bill Cowher was the coach. Hines Ward, a wide receiver, he comes in and gets a block. Look at everybody, body on a body, and then the running back can just kind of pick the last spot. Well, look at Heath Miller, just keeps going. Play's not over.
But it's a 3rd and goal now from the 2. It's been all running to get to this point, to the 2.
Well, they say in a fight, protect yourself at all times. Same on this field. Don't stop until you hear the whistle, then keep going for another second.
Another timeout called by the Steelers.
Timeout, Pittsburgh. That's 3rd second.
3rd down play from the 2 coming up. Jim Mansfield Sims, Steve Tasker, 3rd and goal coming up. A drive that began at the Steelers 38 and all running yards to this point.
Jets 3rd in the NFL during the season against the rush. Steelers 11th in rushing. They just don't line up and running on everybody.
Well, they're doing it tonight. Redmond flanking Roethlisberger from the gun. Throws and incomplete.
Got lucky.
Very congested area he was throwing into. Eric Smith got a hand on it.
Yeah, it was. Darrelle Revis is on the receiver going up the field. Hines Ward. He switches. It's not Hines Ward, but what a job by Darrelle Revis. He leaves his guy, Hines Ward. Eric Smith knocks it down. You see the defender behind? If that football's knocked down, Darrelle Revis is right there.
Would have been a pick. Would have been a pick.
Would have been a really good chance of one, that's for sure.
20-yard field goal try coming up for Sean Sweezen. Took over for Jeff Reed during the season, and he's good from 20 to make it 10-0 Pittsburgh.
Good stand. All right, here's Eric Smith. He knocks it down, but watch Darrelle Revis leave his guy and then get in the throwing lane too. And if this ball's knocked down, Darrelle Revis, it's going to be right to him. And boy, good job by Eric Smith, 33, reading the quarterback, jumps up. And an awesome job by Darrelle Revis and Drew Coleman, kind of in and out, 2 receivers. And they had it well played.
He's throwing to Emmanuel Sanders. Never had a chance of getting there, as you said. If it wasn't for Smith, and Revis would have had to look like a clean play on it.
Well, it's like Rick. Go ahead,
there is Brad Smith, who ran back the opening kickoff, going in the same direction back on December 19th. Of course, they're very leery of kicking to him, and the Jets will take it. That'll put the ball at the 40-yard line, kicking it out of bounds.
Well, that'll take the air out of the
Kickoff
stadium.
illegally out of bounds. The receiving team will take the ball at the 40-yard line. 1st down.
Tonight after the game, a tsunami puts a crime scene in jeopardy. This is one wave you don't want to miss. New Hawaii 5-0, and it's tonight right after football right here on America's #1 network.
Jets 10 plays, Steelers 30 plays already. The Jets said last time, we never had the ball enough. I think they ran in the low 50s. Total plays for the game.
Brad Smith lined up to the right, and they take the end around with him. Goes Sean Green up the middle for 3. So that's now 25 total yards for the Jets in this game. And this is a Pittsburgh defense that last week held the Ravens to only 126 total yards.
Well, I think the Jets knew it was going to be tough sledding inside. And I'll just say this. One of their coaches said, we drafted Mark Sanchez. We knew we would be a running team. And when you can run it well, which they can, you get single coverage outside. Your quarterback's got to be able to throw to the sideline. and take advantage of it.
On 2nd and 7, going to the sideline, and a miscommunication, it appears, with Braylon Edwards.
Well, the one thing I like about this play, he's in the shotgun, so the ball will not get batted down at the line of scrimmage by throwing it quick. And who knows who made the mistake. But Mark Sanchez, he told us last night, even last week, they made a few mental mistakes early in the game. It took them way too long to settle down and really start executing plays that were the difference in the game.
Well, this Jets offense needs to stay on the field. This could be another quick 3 and out. 3rd and 7. Sanchez incomplete. That ball was deflected there. Well, it looked like for a moment there the Jets thought there might be a flag. There is no flag.
No, James Harrison got the tip at the line of scrimmage, Jim. That's the 3rd tip football of the day. It's a blitz. Oh, no, that's Brett Kiesel, the defensive lineman, dropping back that knocked it down. Linebackers blitz, defensive lineman drop back.
Sanchez was going to Cotchery, and here's Weatherford. And a line drive punt to Randall L. Changes directions twice, and he's brought down at the 34. Just a 35-yard punt. Wednesday on CBS, it's the Russian Mob versus New York's top cop. Tom Selleck stars in the hit drama Blue Bloods. A new episode on its new night. Selleck on Wednesday on CBS.
Well, you built around the defense. Rex Ryan was hired. He created, of course, a personality with the New York Jets, and it starts with their defense, and the pressure is on them once again to keep this game in check.
We've seen so much of Mendenhall with 89 yards rushing, and Redmond running hard too, but this time it's Llewellyn Moore behind Roethlisberger. Quick toss, and that may have been a backwards pass. Wallace unable to hold on to it. Flag down. Looks like they may have picked up the flag. They picked it up. Inadvertently fell out of the pocket.
You know, it's kind of interesting, Jim, watching this Jets defense. It's had tremendous success the first 2 games, but the Steelers, physical running the football. You got a quarterback that's hard to bring down. They do go down the field to throw it. If you blitz Ben Roethlisberger, you really, I think it's too risky to be too aggressive against him.
He's missed on his last 5 throws, including a pick, but he's going back up top again on 2nd and 10. If he can get away from the pressure, he's got an open man. And that's Miller to the Jets 42. Gains 23.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple play, but it just becomes a great play because the quarterback felt the pressure. And quarterbacks that can move, sometimes they're going to take their eyes down a little quicker down the field. And it's a good thing he did. The pressure was coming up the middle. He was in trouble, so he moves. The defense breaks down, and Heath Miller is wide open.
Mendenhall back in on 1st down. Picks up a couple more. Give him 3, actually, but this running game has been the difference maker, particularly Mendenhall. The touchdown. Redmond contributing.
I think, Jim, the big key here is of course, good blocking up front. But it's running backs who are breaking all the arm tackles. And if you watch Rashard Mendenhall especially run, it looks like he's always leaning forward. Fast, big, lean forward. He'll break some arm tackles.
That 35-yard run he had on the last drive was the longest run allowed by the Jets all season. 2nd and 7. Roethlisberger comes in, and he's got his target. It's Sanders inside the 20, down at the 19, picks up 20.
Well, he's a wonderful route runner. The Steelers very happy about their receivers. And Sanders, bottom of your screen, look what they did. They stacked the receivers, one behind the other. Why do you do that? That's the reason why. This throw and catch. Because the defender, Jim, has to drop back. Hard to determine which way is he going to go. Is he going to go inside? Quick break outside. That is Sanders' specialty, making the cuts.
inside of 4 minutes first half. Half dominated from the start by the Steelers with a 9-minute, 6-second drive to open it. Mendenhall does not give it back, holds on to it, and collects 3. Runs into Jason Taylor. So Roethlisberger already with 2 Super Bowl titles, and we asked him before that last Jet game, you know, how many do you see down the line? What's your goal? And he said, 1 more than anybody else.
That's a good answer. I think he said it right. He's not going to win passing titles. He's not going to be the MVP of the NFL. He just hopes to be part of a truly a tremendous organization that knows how to win these Super Bowl trophies.
2nd and 7. He's got all kinds of time. He's got an open man, Mendenhall. Snags it at the 5 and trips. Was trying to figure out how to take on Cromartie, and he stumbled while making the move, but they got 1st and goal after the gain of 15.
Well, he's so hard to rush because you're worried he's going to move out of the pocket. The Jets got 4 guys coming in there, no pressure at all. He looks at everybody, and how he finds Mendenhall coming out of the backside of the formation. Well, that's experience and a lot of talent on his part.
I'll tell you, Cromartie's not known around the league as a great tackler. If he would have just taken him on, he would have had a very good chance of just overpowering him, even with all that size. 1st and goal. Roethlisberger rolling out. He's going to keep it. Open lane and touchdown. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
It's a good play design. Fake reverse, quarterback going out, rolling out. And there's 2 guys to cover. Look what it looks like from the top. Good coverage down the field, but no defender there to stop Ben Roethlisberger.
$17-0 at the 2-minute mark. Driving right down on the Jets again. Boy, you talk about an open lane. 17-zip. 58 of the 66 yards on that drive through the air. That's after the previous drive they drove down for the field goal from 20 out, all on the ground.
On the ground, 58. Jim, we've done a lot of Steeler games. I've never seen the Steelers run the football this well as we're seeing so far in this championship game.
Well, it's almost like back to the Bill Cowher, Jerome Bettis era. This time they're going to see Brad Smith running from the 10, 20, 30, and held back. Battle on the tackle. Who's got the #1 new show, the #1 new comedy? That man right there, actually Billy Gardell.
How about that?
Mike and Molly, he's a Pittsburgh native. He's revved up. The #1 new program, the #1 comedy overall, and the #1 drama. Only CBS, America's most watched network.
You know, that last drive, the Jet defense, you almost have to blame the Jets offense because of that. Not on the field, the Jet defense definitely showed the fatigue in the last drive, and a lot of times fatigue shows you can't stop the run.
Sanchez is decked. It's Woodley and Timmons both in on the play. The first 2 draft picks by Mike Tomlin when he took over combined on the sack.
On the outside, it's Turner on the outside, and it's, again, they haven't played in known passing situations against the Jets. That's what they want. They have it now, and they finally got the outside pressure.
Woodley's had a sack in every postseason game of his career. Over the top and could have been picked. Going for Cotchery and in the area of Ryan Clark.
Well, what the Jets have really got to do here, Jim, is they got to find a way to get out of this first half
without giving up more.
Do not give more, because it's not out of your hands completely. Don't give it back to the Steelers in good field position. Nothing else. Make them use their last time out.
3rd and 17. Hit when he throws it. Ball is out. That is William Gay picking it up. It may have been an incompletion. Gay is in for a touchdown. Sanchez is still down. He was hit by Ike Taylor. Gay ran it in. Was it perhaps an incompletion?
Well, we'll find out, but the football did not go forward. And Ike Taylor coming from the backside, 2 defensive backs blitzing.
I don't know. Looks like the arm was just going forward. There should be a review from up top.
Inside of 2 minutes.
Steelers are anxious to go ahead and launch the snap back and put it in the books, but the officials,
they're going to give them time to look
upstairs.
upstairs.
We will review the ruling on the field that it was a fumble.
Well, you could just feel that coming. You foreshadowed that, Phil. You could say there, you just could sense there was a disaster on the way. And again, it's like the Miller challenge in the first quarter. It's about as close, open to really great interpretation. Taylor on the hit. Another issue here is Sanchez is on that sideline and he's in a lot of pain.
Is the arm going forward? And you know, as I watched it a few times, what it is, it's going down, so his arm is flexing. And in my opinion, it's not going forward. Look at the 2 blitzers off the side. Oh, that is a big hit Mark Sanchez takes.
As William Gay scoops it up, takes it the rest of the way. Mark Brunell is already warming up. Sanchez.
Well, let's watch it, Jim. Let's see. The arm is going back. Now it's going to see. It's going to stay back there because it's going to kind of go behind him, as you can tell.
I think that's a pass.
You do?
I do. I think it's definitely starting forward.
I don't think Ed Hockley is going to know as much about the throw motion as I do. So, but
you don't think the hand's going forward?
No. The motion is. You think it's going forward because his arm is still going back and down. Watch it one more time. Is it there? Now it's going to sink down. See, it's not. It's falling behind him so he can whip it forward. It's close.
The ruling on the field is confirmed.
You got it. Touchdown.
It was a touchdown. The ball came loose before the hand started forward. It was a fumble.
Two touchdowns in 47 seconds. Sanchez is back up with a helmet on, ready to come back in for the last 113. But the Jets are getting swamped here, 24-0.
Mark Sanchez trying to get the first down. Let's just watch his facial expressions. Oh boy, it's a little bit of whiplash, pain, it's all there. You don't see the blitzers, Jim, coming from behind you. Of course, you can't see them behind you or feel them. Not much you can do.
Coming up, we've got the Sprint halftime report. We'll send it back to New York with JB, Dan, Shannon Boomer, Coach Cowher. Their take on the first half here and their recap of the NFC title game won by the Green Bay Packers. And head coach Mike McCarthy, a Pittsburgh native himself, is going to Dallas, taking his Packers with him. McCarthy grew up here in Pittsburgh, went to Bishop Boyle High School, actually in Greenfield, Pennsylvania.
Well, the Jets wish they'd have run the football now. Really, I thought they might run it to get rid of the last timeout, or nothing, just throw it short. But they called a play where the quarterback was going to hold it, and they were going to try to pick up that first down.
This one hugs the ground. Finally picked up by Turner. And the Jets have 3 timeouts in 1 minute and 8 seconds.
Well, now you're down 24-0. You come out here.
And look who's coming back out here. Biggest comeback in the playoffs all time for the Jets. 11 down at Cincinnati back in '83. Got another injured Jet, and it's Cotchery.
Middle of your screen.
He gets hit by from behind by Stevenson Sylvester, the rookie out of Utah.
He's a linebacker. The Steelers, they have the starting linebackers and a whole other core behind them waiting to play. Hope Cotchery's okay. As you look at this, 1:08 to go in the first half. You're the Jets now. It's gone bad, but you do have to go ahead and try to move the football here in this situation because of the score. But you be very careful. Maybe it's a draw, screen, whatever you can do to get it moving, to maybe get a field goal. If you do that, that would be, I know, 24-3 would be a big boost, and they get the football to start the second half. And this Steelers defense, Jim, just the energy they're playing with.
Well, they've held the Jets to 12 total yards. 12. It's hard to comprehend 29 minutes of football, including a touchdown forced by Taylor, scored by Gay.
Well, we said it, just the action of the players a little bit. When James Ferrier was talking to us, I kept asking him questions. He just kept looking forward and giving us really curt answers because they truly were upset about the last time they played the Jets.
Again, the Sprint halftime report coming up. We'll have their discussion on this first half performance, this Steeler juggernaut. Plus highlights from the NFC Championship game coming up on the Sprint halftime report. This is the only category where the Steelers weren't ranked #1. Total yards allowed. They were second on the season. For the #1 scoring defense, #1 in sacks, #1 against the rush. Brad Smith now with Cotchery out, and you're going to see some action at wide receiver.
Steelers haven't even had two of their good defenders out a lot of times this year.
It's covered. Makes the grab, and Woodley wrestles him down, picks up 4.
I know, I think the Jets are doing the right thing here. Try to get this down there. You look, just get a first down. Get some rhythm. Give your coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer, some options on what to call.
Here's Brad Smith, and that's a first down and more. And he's out of bounds at the 50. Chased out by William Gay.
Excellent job. How about Sanchez? He's done it all year. Taking some big hits. He can just shake them off. I think I've answered the question so many times. The fact that he's from California and everybody thinks he's maybe going to lack some toughness, but throwing it beautifully there when he gets time.
That's the first down of the quarter for the Jets. Only their 4th of the game. Operating on the Pittsburgh side with 39 seconds. Pump fake, now throws. Smith has another grab, and he's good for 9.
Well, that was a good no throw at the start by Mark Sanchez. Troy Polamalu and Ryan Clark are trying to bait him into a throw where they can run for the interception, and so far he has not fallen into that trap.
Jets used their first timeout with 33 seconds, and you made this point. If you can put anything on the board here and you are going to get the second half kickoff, okay, that's the way you just got to inch along here mentally and confidence wise.
Yeah, that's right. You said it, confidence, and of course we're going to see a different Jet team in the second half, and we're going to see one that's, hey, they're going to come out with more energy, ready to fight, and they're going to change what they're doing on defense, Jim, that's for sure.
So far in this game, as Nick Falk warms up, no catches for Santonio Holmes and Braylon Edwards.
And where they thought, and I thought it was going to be a huge part of the game, throwing it outside to these two receivers, non-factor so far. Of course, they haven't been on the field to do it.
2nd and 1, 33 seconds. Blitz picked up. Sanchez, almost intercepted by Timmons.
They were going for the score.
There's the flag.
Holding on the defense.
Before the pass was thrown, illegal contact, defense, number 20. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, and an automatic first down.
Called on McFadden, puts the football at the Pittsburgh 34.
Yes, good idea. Bottom of your screen. It's going to be a little double move, a little fake. Oh, and he's got him. Good job by McFadden.
Roethlisberger reacting to what he thought was a opportunity for an interception. Wouldn't have mattered. Penalty on the Steeler defense. First down Jets. 28 seconds from the 34-yard line. And that's covered. The Jets need to use another one here, leaving them with one. College basketball next Saturday here on CBS. 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Some will see Tubby Smith's Minnesota team taking on Purdue. Florida against Mississippi State. And then on Sunday, Duke and St. John's. Coach K, Steve Lavin, the Blue Devils, and the Red Storm on CBS.
Tell you what, I wonder if the Jets, after what they've seen, I know it's at the end of the half and the defense is not aggressive, but maybe in the second half, you change it up. Your running game's not working. Maybe you come out in a hurry-up offense. Tire the Pittsburgh defense out.
This is their deepest penetration of the game. From the 24. Going to the end zone and almost intercepted again. It was Ike Taylor who had his fingertips on it. Throwing to Santonio Holmes with Sanchez.
Well, what did Ike Taylor say the last time? Top of your screen, they're going to go. Again, Mark Sanchez trying to look it off and go for the big play. Ike Taylor in awesome position the whole time. The last time they played, they're good friends. He goes, I dreamed about matching up against him every night. You're going to throw it down the field. Your receiver has got to go. It looked like he wasn't expecting the football.
Those two work out together in the offseason. 3rd and 1. Sanchez throws in the area of Edwards. And now they're going to go field goal here with 14 seconds on 4th and 1.
We'd like to get a few more yards in those last two plays. I thought, you know, as you see it always, well, would they sneak a run in there just to get themselves in good position or better position for the field goal try?
Polk has never missed in his career at Heinz Field, 4 of 4. He did miss from 30 last week. The week before that, he had the game winner against the Colts from 32. This is a 42-yard field goal attempt. Nick Falk, and that kick is good.
Kick is good.
He hit a fade in there.
Yeah, he did. I thought it was going to go wide left and snuck it in just inside that left upright.
Look at that. I'll tell you, you don't underplay this. It's a good feeling for the New York Jets. Nothing's gone right. The football definitely went left to right as it was up in the air and just snuck in inside. Yep. That's good.
How big is it for them to get something out of that? Points on the board.
Well, shoot, you know, there's a lot of things. Listen to the crowd. It stopped them. The Jets getting the football in the second half. I'm anxious to see their approach on offense when they come out in the second half. Put the Pittsburgh defense, you know, put them on their heels a little. Come out in a 2-minute offense and just see how they react to it. Will they play soft like they did in that drive, or will they go back to being aggressive? And if they do that, that's okay too, because that will give you a chance at least to make a big play.
The Jets drove 44 yards in 1 minute and 4 seconds. I expect this will get too much airtime from Folk. squibs it and fallen on at the 33 by Spaeth. Well, when Roethlisberger won his first Super Bowl, that was his second season. They beat Seattle up in Detroit to win it, but on their way there, they beat Denver in the AFC title game. And Roethlisberger and the Steelers led in that game at halftime 24-3.
Yeah, the other thing, just watch him run out in the field. That Charlie horse he had in his left leg definitely doesn't look like it's bothering him anymore.
He takes a knee to close out a most impressive first half. That's the end of the first half with the score: the Steelers 24 and the Jets 3. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. Mendenhall got the game's first touchdown. Roethlisberger ran one in from 2 yards out. The defense scored as well. And you're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, this first half here was so dominant by Pittsburgh. About as close as you could come to a first half checkmate in a championship game. (24-3) is the score, and Pittsburgh will be kicking to the Jets to start the second half. Let's take a look at the Droid Pro Play presented by Motorola, and we take a look at the Steelers' second touchdown. It was Roethlisberger, and Thomas nor Scott able to get there in time. Ben had a couple of big rushes. He had a 12-yard run on their first touchdown drive on a 3rd and 12 that kept the drive moving toward the end zone. Look at this, 1 total rush yard by the Jets. This is after they put up 106 back on week 15, the most by a Pittsburgh opponent this year.
Total yards, you know, when I look at it, Jim, I think I came in today's game just going, can the Steelers' offensive line play well enough to give Ben Roethlisberger a chance to get it done? Well, they have had a terrific first half. Their blocking was the difference. The hard running by Rashard Mendenhall and just timely plays by the quarterback. You said it, almost a perfect first half for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mendenhall almost had a 100-yard performance in that first half alone. 17 carries for 95 yards. And there is Brad Smith. He went 97 yards to open things back on week 15. They haven't given much of a chance to run it tonight. Oh, and it slips to his hands. Scoops it up at the 9, and he's in trouble. Boy, is that a tough way to start the second half. How can the Jets possibly get back into this game?
Well, you know, you want to play the second half and not make mistakes, and here we go right from the kickoff. But I think they got to change their formula. You heard it at halftime from Shannon Sharp, Boomer Esiason. You got to pick up the pace. You need 3 touchdowns. So the offense has got to be quicker. And, of course, they definitely need a big play from their defense somewhere here in the second half.
The biggest comeback ever in championship game history. We were there for it, Phil, 4 years ago. And that's when the Colts were at home, and they came back from 21-3 down to New England to win it in that epic shootout on their way to winning the title, the Super Bowl, as Green shakes off a hit with a straight arm and is shoved out by Ziggy Hood. And it looks like Green may have been shaken up. (23 yards for Green, and injured when he fell on the Jets sideline. By the way, Cotchery, who was injured late in the first half, was not in on that first snap. Brad Smith was. This is Ziggy Hood who shoves him out and may have landed on the football. You got to come back here to the snap at the line at the 33. And that last play was the first play for the Jets over 20 yards on the game, the run by Green. That's 8 for Tomlinson. Let's go down to Steve Tasker.
Well, guys, I spoke to Rex Ryan as he came off the field, and I asked him about the run defense. He kind of laughed and nodded his head. He said, yeah, he goes, it's our not tackling. Our guys are standing up defensively, and we're getting outplayed. He had nothing to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers, only about how his Jets were not living up to it. He was really disappointed, no doubt, in that first half performance.
And really on both sides of the football. And there's confusion here. The Jets are charged with a timeout. Sanchez is saying, wait a minute, you're making an appeal like he didn't want the timeout. One half to go to identify the second team to Arlington, Texas. Wedged in between Fort Worth and Dallas. Green Bay is already set. Jets report the Kotri hamstring injury. He had one during the regular season, too questionable to return. 2nd and 2. Now let's reset this as they run it with Tomlinson and they lose a yard. They were not, as it turns out, charged a timeout. The officials owned up to the fact that the down clock, the play clock, had not been reset to the 40. Yes. Sanchez won his appeal and was able to get back the timeout.
They reset it to 25 seconds, but Lamar Woodley on the outside. Look, they told us last time they got outside on Lamar Woodley and James Harrison a few times, but they set the edge so well that I didn't think they would try it too often today. When they have lost.
3rd and 3. And that's a first down catch as Holmes finally has a grab coming back to Pittsburgh. He picks up 16.
Well, it's an easy read for Mark Sanchez. As he looks down the field, if the receiver has space, that's the guy he's looking at. And Santonio Holmes, Ike Taylor knows him well. Be careful. Sanchez in the shotgun. Boy, he lets that one go. The cold weather, once again, not bothering him when he throws the football.
First down at the Steelers 45, and Sean Green, who was banged up, he's back in. They fake the handoff to him. Sanchez on the rollout, throws, he's got Holmes open, and he holds on for the touchdown.
What a play. Santonio Holmes broke his route. He held his hand up because he knew he was going to be open, and what a job by Sanchez looking down the field and seeing it. They blocked the edge to give him extra time to throw. Hartstock, the tight end, blocks. So Sanchez can come out, have a little space, not a lot. And how about Santonio Holmes?
Only Ryan Clark was back there, but not even close. He had no catches for the first 32 and a half minutes of this game, and then he has 2 on consecutive plays, including the 45-yard touchdown. Extra point, good. So 10 unanswered for the Jets. There is some hope after all for the Jet fans.
Heads up play by Santonio Holmes.
In our meeting with the Jets last night, Mark Sanchez told us that Holmes was so amped up they had intentions of getting the ball to him early to relax him, but he didn't catch anything in the first half.
Jim, he was relaxed on that long pass. Nice adjustment, an unbelievable read by him, and Mark Sanchez staying with him.
The short kick. Brown backs up to get it at the 9 and down at the 28.
Well, Jim, let's look at it. Santonio Holmes, bottom of the screen. It's a play action by the quarterback. He's going to run this. He sees Ike Taylor fall down. He sees him fall down. Now he's thinking. He goes, heck with it. Puts his arm up, locates the football. Mark Sanchez throws it up in the air high enough where he can adjust to it. That is football smart. That's all you can say about it. Threw his arm up, looked like Randy Moss running down there for a second.
So the Steelers at one time 24-0 after the return touchdown by the defense. And that's Ellis. And Roethlisberger's able to break away from and then dragged down by Mike DeVito. Making Mike DeVito's dad, Vinny, proud of that effort. His father, former weightlifter and bodybuilder, and one time was a candidate to get into the Mr. Universe competition. His son's come a long way as a free agent.
Well, Jim, here it is. Safety in the middle. The Jets are going to change that defense. They're going to play tight man-to-man coverage, and they're going to put the pressure on their corners like they have a lot this year.
And again, no Pouncey, their Pro Bowl center. He's out with an injury in the first half. Doug Lugerski has gone most of the way. One player out of Marshall as Mendenhall slides to within a couple of the first down. Well, the weather now has dropped to 10 and our wind chill is below 0.
Man, doesn't feel that cold.
No, it really doesn't.
Oh.
Kansas City a couple of weeks ago at 30 was colder than this.
I'm being facetious because, you know, we have about 14 heaters around our feet.
Third and 2. And they go 5 receiver set. Almost intercepted by the rookie, Kyle Wilson. Stepped in front of Antonio Brown, had a play on the ball.
They are definitely coming up to the outside, top of your screen. Oh boy, you can't do that if you're a receiver. You've got to fight through the defender and stay in front. The 2 out of the 3 plays, the Jets, hitting right in the face. Football got there fast. He throws it hard.
With Cotchery out, they've got Cromartie back deep, and the Jets come crashing in, and there is a flag. Westerman running into the punter, and the ball settles at the 25. It was 4th and 2. Did they get perhaps a hand
Personal
on it, though?
foul.
No, I guess.
Roughing the kicker. Defense. The ball was not touched. It was not touched. 15 yards, the first down.
Campanos knocked down by Westerman.
Well, Jim, let's see if he does get his hand up. Comes free. Not even touched.
Watch our supervision cameras.
And I could see no evidence that the football was touched.
Boy, that was close. I think it was not touched.
Well, I think if they saw anything there that gave them any evidence that it was touched, they would throw that red flag.
Jets had all the momentum, but now the Steelers are able to get the first down, and that's a running play for Mendenhall. It puts him over 100. Well, Roethlisberger, it's been quite an odyssey this past year. Suspended in April for the first 6 games, which was later reduced to 4 for violating the league's the personal conduct policy. And after an alleged sexual assault down in Georgia prosecutors decided not to file charges after investigating, but the league issued its own punishment. Again, 4 games he set out, could not practice through those 4 games. Here he's handing off to Mendenhall, a gain of about 1 yard. Now, we've been around him all season long. Have you noticed a change at all in how the players on this team you think reacted to Ben?
I've definitely seen a change in his personality, Jim, when he deals with us. I think he's more patient, in much better spirits. I think he feels good about himself. And just reading and talking to his teammates, I think they enjoy what they perceive as a new attitude towards them too. But I think it's, of course, you and I have talked about this. It's too early to say, oh, that's it. You know, he's learned everything and he's going to change completely. Time will tell.
Got a 3rd down here at the 45, 3rd and 6.
These bunches by the receivers of the Steelers, it makes the Jets back off.
Come in on him. What a catch by Moore, who was somersaulted down by Cromartie, but not until the Steelers move down the field with another first. Picks up 9.
Yeah, Mwelde Moore comes out of the backfield. He acts like he's going to go out in the flat, because that's what all backs do most of the time. Instead of going outside, he turns it up inside. It caught Eric Smith just enough to create that window, and that was a tight window to throw the football into.
That was a good piece of tackling by Cromartie on that one. But what a catch, too, by Moore. Steelers fumble the football, and again with the new center. That's the first little misstep between Legursky and Roethlisberger. Recovered for a loss of 1 yard.
See if we can tell what happens with those gloves on. It's hard to drop anything. And it's been Roethlisberger pulling out just a little before the football gets there. Hit him on his fingertips.
2nd down and 11.
They'll come out with the 5 receivers. And 2nd and 11. Top of your screen, Rivas on Antonio Brown. Roethlisberger, here comes Coleman. He twists away from him. Now plants the feet, fires it long, intercepted. The Jets, Rodney Poole has it, and the Jets, that momentum, they still have it. Their 2nd interception of Roethlisberger on the game. 24-10, 3rd quarter, Jets with a takeaway. Roethlisberger's first multi-pick game of the season. He almost got picked earlier on the drive by Kyle Wilson. The Jets almost blocked the punt, or were flagged for roughing the punter. Then they finally did get the interception. The 6th seed in the AFC now coming to life after the 6 over on the NFC side ran the tables in the conference playoffs. The Packers are heading to Arlington. Jets drove it 90 yards again last time they had it. Start this one from the 14. They go green with Ziggy Hood stopping it after a run of 3.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger throws the football. Sanders right here, going to go all the way across the field. By Roethlisberger avoiding Drew Coleman. He thinks he's wide open. He throws it inside. Also, he throws kind of a hanging curveball. He did not get all of it when he threw it. It hung up in there. And even if he threw it perfect, I think Poole's still going to get there and make the interception.
Hatchery is back in the game. He's on a wing to the left. 2nd and 7. Across the middle and too high for Holmes. That was dangerous. Taylor on the coverage.
It was. I was going to say, Jericho Cotchery not being there, it really hurts the spread offense by the Jets. And Pittsburgh Steelers said enough of this. They're going to get after it. They send a blitz. He comes in free, and a good job by Mark Sanchez just getting the football off. Dick LeBeau is not going to just sit back there and watch his defense get picked apart and not put pressure on the quarterback.
3rd and 7. Sideline caught with a feet down. No. Edwards out of bounds. Incomplete.
Good decision by Sanchez. This is an excellent throw. He throws it where it's safe. Oh, he puts the left foot out. He plants it out of bounds.
Yeah, he did. He does not have a catch on the game. He's drawn a couple of penalties as Edwards. No catches. But here's Weatherford. It's his best punt of the night, and it's mishandled and goes out of bounds. Randall L. Goes out of bounds at the 30 after a 53-yard boot on a chilly night in Pittsburgh. But the action is warming up. 24-10. Looking down at Heinz Field from the MetLife Blimp, providing our aerial coverage. Steelers, since the AFL-NFL merger 41 years ago, in a conference final for the 15th time. It's a record. 15 of 41. Start this series with another running play with Mendenhall, no gain. How much do you think the players feel it on a night like this? Of course, these cold weather teams, they played in this before when there was snow when they were contesting the game 5 weeks ago.
Fans that paint their face like that never feel the pain. And the players, Jim, I don't think it bothers them at all. I haven't seen nothing that would make me think that the skill level has changed because of the cold weather.
2nd and 10, nearing 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Mendenhall's on his way to a gain of about 6 into the arms of Poole.
Yeah, running down that left side. Chris Keamoatu, the left guard, and Jonathan Scott just both having a good day run blocking. It always helps when the running backs out there getting those extra yards for you.
Mendenhall with 109 yards. Steelers honorary captains for this game. A pair of legendary, iconic running backs from Pittsburgh, Rocky Bleier and Franco Harris, both on 4 Super Bowl winning teams. And a running back has been the main story for him so far tonight. 3rd and 4 as Roethlisberger has all day, now takes off, and he's run for another first down. Picks up 5.
Such a tremendous disguise by the Jets defense to initially get all the people covered. The difference this week, the quarterback is running forward. Look at the defenders going out to his right. Nobody's open, but you've got to stay in front of him. Now, I know Tom Brady's not going to run last week, but they kept a defensive lineman in front of him. Nobody open down the field. Look at all the extra defenders for the Jets. But one of the defensive linemen has to stay right in front of Ben Roethlisberger so he cannot run.
That's 3 times he's run for a first, including a touchdown. And this first down snap is a 2-yard setback for Mendenhall. You can relive every game of the 2010 season, including the playoffs. Go online, find it there in HD with NFL Game Rewind. Sign up today, NFL.com/Game Rewind, or search NFL Game Rewind.
You know, it just shows you when you watch football, you got to be careful when you look at statistics. You look at Ben Roethlisberger's numbers today and you go, wow, he's not playing well. Just the opposite. 2 interceptions, both deep in Jets territory, big runs.
And 2nd and 12, Mendenhall gets a good block by Miller and is able to get within 3 of a first. That's a 9-yard pickup. Miller was able to shield David Harris to make this thing go.
Well, again, Chris Keomatu on the outside. Calvin Pace knocks him out on the run. And I'll tell you why he did it, because the last time, watch 68 come, Calvin Pace goes low, because the last time these two teams played, big number 68, the left guard, Keomatu, was knocking him down like he was a bowling ball. And he does it, and then once you're on the ground, he hits you again just to reinforce the point.
He's lined up against his old college roommate right now, Sione Bioha. They were same recruiting class at Utah.
How about that?
On 3rd and 3, Roethlisberger in trouble, again able to get away. Is he going to run for another first? There's a flag down. He's hit from behind. He ran for the first, but there are flags down in a couple of areas.
The one thing, let me say it again. Keep him in the pocket. The coverage is borderline great down the field.
Holding defense, number 31. That 5-yard penalty is enforced from the end of the run. First down.
Antonio Cromartie, bottom of your screen. Mike Wallace, oh, he does the double move. Oh, man, I'd say that's holding.
Yeah, no question.
But what happens when Ben Roethlisberger drops back, the receivers run their route. They're very disciplined. But the word is, once you see him move, what do they say to him? Play ball. Here we go. They're very good at redirecting their routes. Very tough for defensive backs to cover.
All the way down to the Jets 42. Jets defense had 5 sacks last week at New England. None so far tonight. But they've got one now. Alvin Pace drops Roethlisberger at the 49 and a loss of 7.
A good coach from up top, but that time they surround him. And there's nowhere for him to step up and run. The defender in front, that makes him hesitate. And then Calvin Pace, with that extra time, is able to get the sack. Well, they've been grabbing him. Look at his, just losing his name on the back of his jersey. But the coverage again, excellent down the field by the defensive backs of the Jets.
On 2nd and 17, it's Moore, and he's got nowhere to go. David Harris drops him for another loss. This one set back of 3.
Oh, what a job. Trevor Price just ruins the play. He times the snap count perfectly, gets in the backfield, ruins the blocking.
Steelers bring in Isaac Redmond. It's 3rd and long, 3rd and about 20. They got to get to the Jets 32 for the first.
Jets have so little room for error now, getting late in the 3rd quarter. Can't give up a big pass here.
They're going to sack him for the second time in 3 snaps. Trevor Price and Jason Taylor combined on that one on 3 straight negative plays. That one a loss of 5.
Well, when I say the Jets can't give up a big play, of course you say that, but I'm just meant not to give up yards where they would maybe think about going for it on 4th down. And Ben Roethlisberger, be careful in this situation. A sack means nothing because you're around the middle of the field. That's when a quarterback should hold it on 3rd down and look to make the play by moving around.
Campanos almost had that last one blocked. He was roughed, and Cotchery is good enough to go back and return punts again.
Steelers using the play clock all the way down.
So since that last penalty was called off because of the roughing the punter, that's officially the first punt by Campanos. 37 yards. Jets got to Big Ben 2 times, and they're back on the field with their offense. We're back last minute, 3rd quarter. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, Steve Tasker here at Heinz Field. Jets snap it from the 19. Yes, Edwards with a catch at last to the 37.
That's a play we saw from Green Bay today. Earlier, we've seen the Patriots run a lot. I like it. A good play action fake inside. Good sail by the offensive lineman. Creates a space between the receiver and the safeties. Nice catch by Braylon Edwards.
And on this cold night, we've got another player down. It's Ryan Clark right here, 25.
Well, after Mark Sanchez getting hit, you think, man, he might be out of the game. He has come back in and throwing the football well.
Clark will have to sit out at least 1 snap. Again, the Pro Bowl next Sunday. Live from Aloha Stadium. Check your local listings. Ryan Monday comes in for him. He got a lot of action against the Jets back here in December as Polamalu was out, and Monday really filled in for him. That was an 18-yard throw to Edwards. First down at the 37. Tomlinson straight ahead for about 4. That'll probably close out the quarter. The Jets with that touchdown on the first drive of the quarter. It's 24-10 heading to the 4th. Back after this message and a word from your local station, and you're watching the NFL on CBS. One more quarter to go before we'll have a Super Bowl set. We're going to find out the Green Bay Packers opponent for Super Bowl 45. Jets were down here 24-0 late in the first half. Got a field goal with 9 seconds to go before the intermission. Then a touchdown on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. We'll start the 4th with 2nd and 5 from the 42. Sanchez has his man. It's his tight end, Keller, to the Pittsburgh 39. Sanchez hanging in there. He had that blistering hit that led to a return touchdown. I thought he might be out, but he's back up, and, man, has he played tough since.
Yeah, they cleared out on the outside, and then Keller goes down and gets behind the defense. They brought a tackle in, Robert Turner, to give him more protection on the right side, and it worked. It let Sanchez throw the football down the field.
Picked up 18. Going for the big ball, and that is over the head of Braylon Edwards, and airtight coverage by William Gay.
You know, you look at Mark Sanchez, Jim, and it was the game here 5 weeks ago where I really thought he changed as a quarterback. He just got mentally tougher because Rex Ryan talked about pulling him and maybe going to a backup quarterback. And I think we saw that night when we were meeting with him before the game.
Yeah, you know, when he was coming in last night, we mentioned in the meeting, he said, yeah, I was thinking about that riding in from the airport tonight. How that felt that night before. You guys were asking us questions about that. Ryan told us you got to have skin like an armadillo. Boy, he really has. There's the pass to Godfrey. He takes a big lick, but gets right back up. It was Polamalu who delivered the pounding. Gain of 6.
And when I say that about just Mark Sanchez, I'm not talking about taking the big hit and then coming back from. I'm just talking about grinding out playing, being tough. Sometimes it's about going out there and fighting. It's not about just playing. And Troy Polamalu, we have not heard his name much today. Gets a big hit there.
Might be 4-down territory.
Oh, it is.
From the 33. Third and 4.
Off coverage to the left.
That's Heller with the grab and the first. And Ryan Clark, who set out a couple of snaps, was back in on that play. They go at him. Pick up 6.
Keller goes out, comes back in. Really well designed. It's a play the Jets run a lot. And you got to be perfect with the throw. And Mark Sanchez raises up, gets taller, and puts it right on the money. He's really gotten good at this. Throwing over the middle. He's only about 6'2", but he stands really tall, gets his arm up, and is able to get those short passes over the middle.
First and 10 from the 27. Green tripped up right away. That was James Harrison. That was 15 at kickoff, opening kickoff. And it's down to 8 and the wind chill of 4 below. Braylon Edwards is not in. Hartsook is. He's lined up at the top of your screen. Second down and 9.
Putting the wide receivers inside on the slot to give them more options.
Sanchez slides to the 19. Sanchez wanted a flag there on Harrison, but doesn't draw one.
Well, he does the right thing. Coverage down the field is excellent. They got 3 on 2, so there's nowhere to go. And James Harrison looks a little more when you see it. When the quarterback goes feet first, it's a give up. You got to let him go.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Sanchez appealed for it.
They had a little gadget play all the time for these situations the first time they played.
Third and 3. It's Green going wide, and he stopped the yard short by Harrison. And down low was Ferrier, 4th and 1.
Boy, James Ferrier coming from inside, getting out there.
James Ferrier, who, when Bill Parcells was coaching the Jets, this was his first pick. It was the 8th pick overall back in the '97 draft. Joined the Steelers all the way back in '02, and they're going to measure for it. It's going to be an interesting moment here with 4th and about a half-yard to go.
You know what I wanted to say, though, Jim, the last time they played, every time it was 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, the Jets, they snapped the ball to the running back. They threw some play-action passes. Mark Sanchez kept it on a boot. They never challenged the Steelers up front, just running right at them.
Yeah, Sanchez scored on a 4th down play on that boot. One of the great fakes you saw all season.
And this is not even it's not even a decision for Rex Ryan. He knew once they got inside about the 35-yard line, it was 4-down territory.
Brought in the 16-year veteran, Tony Richardson. You think of 3 old guys on this Jets team. Richardson, 16 years. You give Tomlinson his 10. Jason Taylor his 14. 40 years of experience. Had never been to the Super Bowl. Between those 3. 4th and 1. Green, though, is the running back, not LT. They're going to go Green, and he drives ahead for the first.
Boy, that was... They lined up and went at him that time. What we didn't see in the first half from the Jets was a will and some toughness, but they've shown it here in the second half. Brandon Moore, Wayne Hunter, replacing Damian Woody at the right tackle. Top of your screen. Oh, yeah, there you see him. Yep, you know it's a first down. Dustin Keller gets a good block. The Jets did not do a good job the first game down in this area of the field. There's only two things that Pittsburgh's defense does. They all out blitz or they play the defense they're playing now.
Uh-oh, mishandled. Sanchez has to fall on it to avoid further disaster. A loss of 8.
Oh, man, he had it's like a umbrella defense. They're running down the field. He took his eyes off the snap. Let's see if he did. Yes, he's looking down the field before the football gets there.
Makes it 2nd and 18. Holmes on the near side. They're going to go draw. And they've got open room with Green barreling ahead down to the 9. Big blocks by both Nick Mangold and Tony Richardson, and one escape from Ryan Clark to go for 16.
Oh, it is. Matt Slauson gets you're right. Tony Richardson pins Timmons to the inside, and it allows the run to get up the field.
Third down and 1.
Sean Green, when he runs, he can break tackles. A lot like Mendenhall for the Steelers.
3rd and 2 from the 8. Quick toss. Hatchery's got the first, and it's down to the 2.
You can hear the blocking outside. On TV, I can hear it. The nice blocks outside the screen, quick to the outside. Oh, Braylon Edwards, Santonio Holmes, both just completely flush the blocks and allow for the first down to Cotchery.
Been an impressive drive. Play number 14 coming up. Tomlinson clears out of the backfield. Green is still behind Sanchez on 1st and goal. It's Green. Inside the 1.
Green, the ball carrier.
Yeah, Sanchez looking at the sideline. Let's go. Give me the play. He's right. Keep the pace going.
Tackled by Ferrier.
Rex Ryan implored his team last night to visualize. Last year that confetti came down on your head. It was not our color. Visualize what it's going to feel like. The t-shirt, the confetti, which there wouldn't be any here, but it's what he told them. The hat that says AFC champions. And his team's come back from 24-0 down.
Gotta hurry.
Yeah, there's not a lot of, again, down to 2. Sanchez still has it, now throws, and incomplete. It was in the hands of Dustin Keller. Catchable ball.
Well, you know, it's well done by the Steelers defense, but the communication from the sideline to Mark Sanchez, rushing the play, you can't sell the fake. If I was the Jets, 2 running plays.
LT, the running back, the man who has scored more touchdowns than any player in history without playing in the Super Bowl. Sanchez going up top, and he's almost intercepted. Lamar Woodley had his hands on it.
You got LaDainian Tomlinson in the backfield. He can jump over the defenders. It even looks like the Steelers are playing pass.
Trying to hit Santonio Holmes.
That's about, I've lost count. It's at least 4, maybe 5 passes that have been knocked down. They are ready for the quick stuff.
Here we go, 4th down. They've already converted on a 4th and 1 on this drive. A must right now. Straight ahead. Second chance. Push back and no. A goal line stand by the Steelers. Tomlinson is stopped short. They went right up the gut. And it was completely blocked up by Pittsburgh. The Jets just ran 17 plays, used up 8 minutes and 6 seconds, and come away empty. Now remember, the Jets did get a safety right down here in this end zone. Jason Taylor back in the game 5 weeks ago. Roethlisberger and a mishandle. It's going to be a safety. There it is. A mishandle on the exchange again with the backup center, Legursky and Roethlisberger, for the second time in this half. And it puts up 2 on the board for the Jets, and they'll get the free kick coming their way. That wasn't even close. So just as they did back in December, the Jets get a safety in that very same end zone. This time, Legursky, quite an assignment for him coming in tonight for Pouncey after Pouncey was injured on the opening drive.
Jets still need 2 scores, Jim. 7:38, 3 timeouts. They cannot waste time in between the plays.
Papinos with the boot from the 20. He has it at the 32. Got a block from Brad Smith. And that's Monday riding him down at the 43.
Jim, let's go back to the sequence. The play that's going to be talked about. The pass from down so close that almost gets intercepted. Then 4th down. You think, okay, he reads it right. There's really nowhere to go. But he gets it down to about the 2 to 3 inch yard line. And then the snap by Legursky. He's too worried about the guy he's blocking. He throws the football back. It goes low. Nothing Ben Roethlisberger could do about that.
All he could do was make sure he recovered it and didn't give up a touchdown instead. That's Pouncey on crutches. So first down from the 42. Half a quarter to go. It's away from Woodley. Able to release it and connect with Edwards. Good grab by Braylon Edwards. It's a catch.
What do you say? Gets away from Woodley. Doesn't fumble the football. Still able. Oh, he switches hands with the ball. How great is that? And how about the throw? It's a catch. Knee down.
Watch the left hand.
Knee's already down. The knee is down. You don't throw a challenge flag. I wouldn't. I think that replay showed it.
22 yards to Edwards. Tomlin's looking up at the big screen.
Yeah, I don't think he liked it. He's got it in his hand.
He's going to let it go. Mix up for the Jets and just diving back to the line. Some confusion between Sanchez and Green.
It's a play wasted.
Mangold might have been hurt on this. Oh, it's Sanchez who dives into the back of his left leg. My goodness. The 2 Pro Bowl centers of the AFC. First Pouncey out. Now Mangold is down. Mangold was able to walk off on his own. Getting some treatment in the left hamstring area on the Jets sideline. Robert Turner shifts over now. He's been in on a lot of plays. He's the center on 2nd and 10. Across the middle, and that's Timmons dragging down Keller a yard short of the first. Gain of 9.
Well, Robert Turner, he comes in. He's the 3rd tight end. He's a fullback. Now he's playing center. Jets have a couple guys, very versatile.
Turner, 3rd-year man out of New Mexico. Jets 3rd and 1. Tomlinson, he was stumbling before he even got a hold of it. And that Steeler defensive front came busting through.
Well, what I'm finding out, I see why as you watch up front. The Steelers just win it again. James Harrison coming down the line of scrimmage, one of the players that disrupts it. But you see why the Jets, last time they played, always had something different. They did not want to run it straight ahead.
Looked like Sanchez ran into Tomlinson. A little slight Misexecution, and it's another 4th and 1. Going up top for it. They've got it with Edwards holding on at the 18.
Man, was that some job? Mark Sanchez, they send the guy in motion. They shift to the left. He looks to the left the whole time. And he drops back and then turns and makes a perfect throw to the right.
Picks up 10 on 4th and 1. Now, first down from the 17. Townsend able to wiggle for a couple, maybe 3. And the Jets, any time now to huddle inside of 5 minutes. And 2 scores down. They do have all of their timeouts. Down to the 11-yard line. And that's Keller with Timmons tossing him around.
Hard to get a big play here and get it in the end zone just because of the defense. I said it before. They're sitting back in a safe defense. Give you a few yards. Come up, make the tackle.
Mangold is back in. Third and 3. That's Keller again, and he makes the last-ditch effort to pick up the first. First and goal to go. Gain of 5.
Rex Ryan rolling that arm around on the sideline. Hurry up. As long as they don't use too much more time with 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning. If they score, good chance of getting the football one more time.
They run it with LT. And it's clogged up at the 4. Hit there by Farrier.
Jets huddling up now. Now time to... It's hard to get the big play. We said it. But the communication's got to be a little better getting ready to get these plays off.
Second and goal from the 4. Tomlinson shifts to the right. Sanchez looks left. He's got his man, and it's a touchdown. Cotchery has it for the Jets.
In the country.
Well, that was some play. Shifted it back on the other side to make sure to get one defender away so they could run a pick play at the bottom. And that's what they do. Ike Taylor runs into his own guy, and Cotchery comes out uncovered.
Cotchery, who was hurt in that first half, hamstring injury. We're told it was questionable he would return, but he comes back. He's got the touchdown. The Jets have scored 18 unanswered, and they're going to go for 1 here. Kind of thought they might go for 2. Extra point is good. Put it up at 24-20, and if you score another touchdown, who knows? Could have been a 27-24 game. Nonetheless, it's a 1-score difference at 24-19. Boy, one time it looked like a foregone conclusion. Who was going to take possession of the Lamar Hunt Trophy? It was 24-0. I mentioned the biggest comeback was Colts against the Patriots. It was 21-3. That was not the halftime. The halftime score was 21-6, but at one point in that second quarter, it was an 18-point margin.
Everybody up for the onside kick, Jim. I think they'll kick off, use their timeouts, 2-minute warning.
Tell you what's big is that timeout that Sanchez appealed for right at the beginning of the third quarter that they got back. That's Brown dancing around and able to pick up additional yardage. How did he get free? He steps out at the 40. The Jets had him back near the 20.
Well, that was a good return. Jim, let's just go back real quick. Look at the touchdown. Santonio Holmes runs a great angle, and Ike Taylor runs into William Gay that gives Jericho Cotchery the wide open touchdown. And now the field position, even the Jets stop them. They got to go a long way to score that winning touchdown.
It was a 27-yard return for Antonio Brown through a lot of traffic.
Of course, this score, the Jets doing what they did, it forces the Steelers to be somewhat aggressive in their play calls.
They have 3 tight ends and first down from the 41. And Mendenhall, who owned that first half, picks up 2 this time. Jets call the timeout. Mendenhall had 95 yards in the first half, 23 in the second. And Wednesday night on Showtime Inside the NFL with James, Chris, Warren, Phil. Cable's longest running show. I heard you had to defend yourself against the whole crew again this weekend. They're all piling on. Mike Lombardi and having a good time. And you got the last shot, huh?
I guess so.
It always seems to work that way. And there's the comeback we spoke of.
I think the Jets defense right here, no matter what you do not let the quarterback run around. If you don't get pressure on him, don't worry about it. Just keep him there, make him make a decision, and throw it down the field. The coverage has been very good. Look how tight the Jets are to the line of scrimmage, too.
With 2:50 to go. The Jets have 2 timeouts, 2nd and 8. Steelers are going to go up top, and Miller has the first down. That's a huge catch. Miller with the first down at the 44. Picks up 14.
Well, it's a good fake. They got 2 tight ends in the game to make sure that there's no quick pressure on Ben Roethlisberger as he makes the fake and he comes out. Heath Miller coming across the field. Safe throw.
Jets have just used their 2nd timeout. That was Poole trying to knock it down. He got there too late. And Heath Miller, again, inactive in that game 5 weeks back against the Jets, still out with a concussion. Subway postgame show is coming up. We'll have the presentation of the Lamar Hunt Trophy to the AFC champions, plus JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher will preview Super Bowl 45 coming up on the Subway postgame show.
Yeah, he's talking to those linemen blocking.
The Jets have 1 timeout. And a first down for the Steelers at the 44. Mendenhall with Eric Smith, Jason Taylor, several others restricting that to 2. And now the Jets use their last timeout. We've had 2 completely different stories here, half by half. That sack fumble run back made it 24-0 with 1:13 to go in the 2nd quarter. Then early in the 3rd quarter, the touchdown pass to Holmes, the safety on the mishandled exchange, and the touchdown pass to Cotchery.
Well, Mike Tomlin said to us on Friday, just talking about it and talking about his football team, how not having Ben Roethlisberger, the adversity made him better. And the big thing that caught me, he goes, look, we are so used to playing such close games down to the end. We're very comfortable in those situations. We don't panic. And, of course, he knows his quarterback's not going to panic either.
2nd and 8. Mendenhall, stutter step move a couple of times. They had him for a loss. He's managing 2 yards out of what looked like a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Harris and Thomas finally finish him off. That'll take us down to the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning, and after that 2-minute warning, I would suspect the Steelers will run the football, let the clock go as much as they can, punt it, and not give the Jets any extra time by throwing it in case it's incomplete.
Jets beat them by 5 weeks ago. Steelers are up 5 with 2 minutes to go. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the Subway postgame show. We'll have the presentation of the Lamar Hunt Trophy to the AFC champions. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher. We'll have a first look at Super Bowl 45 coming up on the Subway postgame show. 3rd down coming up. What do you expect here, Phil?
It could be, well, the Steelers could run a quarterback draw, but there's so many defenders inside, it's probably not going to work. 5 wide receivers, looks like they're going to throw it. Surprise.
Yeah. And they are looking throw. Now, Roethlisberger in trouble, throws it, and what a catch! A catch to clinch it in all likelihood. Brown, who had the big one last week, the lone gainer to set up the winner, this time picks up the first down. Picks up 14.
They let him get outside the pocket one more time, and I don't even know how he saw Antonio Brown coming. And Rex Ryan knows that's it. What a job. Ben Roethlisberger's movement today, first downs, running and throwing. As you look back, that was the difference in the game.
Rex Ryan, who told us last night they'll have to be really good to beat us.
Steelers, Jim, you look at this game, Roethlisberger moving, running the football in the first half, and the Jets did what they said they did not want. They just got off to a slow start on both sides of the ball.
Well, one more snap, and don't forget, again, they've had a couple of mishandles. I don't expect anything here, but last little breath of hope for the Jets, and cleanly exchanged, and another knee for Roethlisberger. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl for the third time in 6 years. Roethlisberger will have a chance to pull even with Brady on the all-time Super Bowl victory list. And Aikman too. Only Montana and Bradshaw with 4, and Tomlin's going to be the first coach under the age of 40 to take 2 teams to go twice to the Super Bowl. He's already the youngest coach to ever win it. One more and it's official. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the AFC champions again. Second time in 3 years. 3 out of 6. And the Jets get all the way to the title game and come up short for the second straight year. Tomlinson had hoped so much to be able to go back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The AFC team will be staying in Fort Worth, where he went to school, practicing at his school at TCU, but not to be. It's going to be the Steelers descending upon the gateway of the West. The NFC champs, the Packers, will be residing over in Dallas, and they'll be meeting in Arlington for Super Bowl 45. We wish our friends from Fox, Joe and Troy and everybody, all the very best. Ben Roethlisberger. He's going to a Super Bowl for a third time. Partner, it's quite a game.
Yeah, it was a tough effort by the New York Jets, but the Steelers deserve to win.
24-0 lead, just too much to overcome. The Jets almost got there. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Phil Simms, Jim Nantz, James Brown in New York coming up next.